European Brand Institute and UNIDO jointly holds the Brand Global Summit 2020 Brands for Sustainability. Today's kickoff, the Vienna Brand Gala, takes place in the Vienna City Hall.
We are holding this Brand Global Summit here in Vienna because brands are very valuable assets, but still least understood. Tomorrow we have participants from about 80 countries. We have a global audience because we have a purely online event, only some speakers are there.
Welcome to Vienna, welcome to a city of brands, and welcome to a brand itself. It's my particular pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Mayor and Governor of Vienna, Dr. Michael Ludwig, and we are so very much pleased that this is the first international conference which takes place again in reality under COVID conditions, but we are so happy to have you all here, and we are especially very much pleased that we have international guests here again in Vienna.
What impact does a sustainable brand have on the economy, especially for Vienna?
Vienna has a lot of successful economy companies, and many of them are very much well known with their international brands, and they have a long tradition, like Vienna Cafe House, like Viennese Balls, and so we are a good example, a best practice to know how important international brands and good brands are important for the success of economy.
Would you be so kind and tell us some examples for the effective use of brands and intellectual property rights?
Seeing it out from the point of the international tourism, although at the moment this is at a very low level, especially in Vienna. We have brands like the St. Stephen's Cathedral. We have like the Viennese Boys Choir. We have brands like the Big Reel, the Riesenrad. We have brands like the Wiener Schnitzel, and these are brands combined with music and history. We try to put them in some kind of new clothes, and we try to promote them throughout the world.
Listening to the speeches, yes, Vienna is a city that invented branding before branded was ever thought.
What are the global challenges and new opportunities in the era of globalization and digitalization?
I would like to mention first, globalization has been a process that has been coming over the last years, but suddenly 10 years ago it stopped somehow. It was in crisis, and the relevance that we are seeing is that in the meantime also digitalization has grown. And another big challenge is we had COVID-19. So we have a world of more complexity. And in a world where we have much more complexity, companies need to be more resilient. Companies need to be more continuous. So we need to see how can we help companies to be ready to take risk and to be relevant in the market. And there we have seen that in order to remain competitive, companies need to digitalize, and companies need to also to use the power of branding. The power of branding, however, needs to be looking into the future, and this is why this year we are talking about sustainable branding.
Why is a brand more important than ever, especially in today's world?
For our country, the global brands are very important because it's the way we can show the possibility we have to offer to those interested to make investment in our country. In this globalized world, we think that if we have the possibility to show what we can offer, we have more possibility to sell and to provide the other with the product that we are in which we are very good producing. So the most important for us is establish the connection and the next between us to know what are our advantage or our disadvantage. So for us it's very important to make link with other, to explain what are our possibility. All these issues are the main question that we are working on.
What are the global challenges and new opportunities in the era of globalization and digitalization?
We have to create something our Foreign Minister Alexander Schallenberg likes to call digital humanism. That means we have to use the opportunities of digitalization, but we must never forget about the human being, which means digitalization should serve the human being and not the other way around.
Today is the kickoff of the Brand Global Summit 2020, the Vienna Brand Gala. Why is this such a nice event?
I think this is such a beautiful event. To start with, the dinner is brilliant, and my thanks to the governor and also the mayor. I think it's a brilliant welcome to everybody that's coming from outside of Austria. I came from London, but I am from Zambia. I live and work in London, so I came from London, and this is the first time that I'm visiting Vienna. So this is a brilliant welcome to me. And also the idea of global brands is just absolutely brilliant, because everybody is into branding and people have to know how to raise the bar in branding, what they need to do with their branding. So I think it is a brilliant, fantastic idea.
Companies with strong brands outperform and make them a fail-free choice for long-term investors. How can you create growth through sustainable investment in brands?
Look at the situation just now in COVID crisis. Companies with successful, strong brands, they generate long-term sustainable profits. But what does it mean? Also in COVID times, if there are short-term cash lags, they can be compensated and they have good relations to stakeholders and also financing institutions.
Vienna Brand Gala 2020, we are very happy that we could have it at all. In the first place, it was planned this event in April, then it was moved to June, and now it's today, 30th of September, so we're very glad that we have it. I think also the city of Vienna is very proud that we organized that. Vienna is a very strong brand, as we heard. Vienna is home of 40 international organizations. It's one of the UN headquarters. So Vienna is a very valuable international brand, the most livable city. So it's the best place to hold the Brand Global Summit, which actually Vienna Brand Gala was the mayor's dinner reception on the occasion of tomorrow's event. And we also saw that, yes, the participants here appreciated also the topic. I think the brand for sustainability topic is very interesting. We saw that only 5 to 9% of the worldwide companies are using this tool of branding, and there's a huge potential. And I think this Vienna Brand Gala was a good start for tomorrow for the Brand Global Summit 2020.
Brands contribute to competitiveness and sustainable growth, achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals. To discuss the current situation and to show how a strong sustainable brand can influence the economy, people are gathering at UNIDO today.
Sustainable brands contribute to the UN Agenda 2030 and the SDGs. Sustainable brands will carry us through the crisis and will emerge stronger from the crisis as profiteers.
You a very warm welcome to this 16th Brand Global Summit 2020, Brands for Sustainability. Over the next couple of hours, we're going to be hearing about the importance of brands. We will hear why they are valuable assets, how brands can help companies perform better, and ultimately, how they can work to foster inclusive and sustainable industrial development and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals.
UNIDO's technical assistance and technical cooperation projects implemented in Armenia, Tajikistan, Montenegro show that brand management can play an integrated role for inclusive and sustainable industrial development. Our endeavor in partnership with the European Brand Institute, EBI, has been valuable as we continue to explore innovative ideas to ensure that our work has a lasting impact. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this event is an excellent opportunity to showcase success stories and exchanges of experiences on how to use digitalization and branding as an effective solutions to support the country's regions to achieve higher productivity, diversify, and to attract investment, especially in the context of the COVID-19 crisis.
We're going to be joined now by Dr. Gerhard Rebeczyk. I'd like to invite him to make his way to the stage. He has 25 years of experience in brand and patent valuation, and he's the chairman of the ISO Development Committee on ISO 20671 brand evaluation. He's the founder of the Brand Global Summit and the president of the European Brand Institute. Gerhard, the stage is yours.
I want to welcome all of you, excellencies, experts, partners, and our international guests around the globe, this year also on the screens and on the devices. We've come a long way. We've come a long way, 16 years. It's the 16th event here in Vienna, this time Brand Global Summit, Brands for Sustainability. Brands are very, very valuable assets, probably the most valuable assets a company, a region, a city and cluster has, but it's the least understood. Not everybody understands what brands are for, and that's why we are having this summit here in Vienna.
How do you see Austria's trademark, in particular, with dealing with the current pandemic, and what is the relation specifically to brands?
What I would say is that the speciality about Austria is that as many countries, of course, we want to react quickly and also help efficiently. And it has already been mentioned, and you see it also in the name of my ministry as a Minister of Digital and Economic Affairs. We have put the digital first. And this is because digital and digital transformation and digital solutions is like a vaccine for economy. It helps to transform the economy, it helps to create jobs, especially in difficult areas like now. It helps us to make sure that the people have right jobs also for the future.
As soon as you get in touch with the person that actually buys your product, you generate a bond, and you also, what you do is you generate brand leverage, actually. And this is something that we can use much, much more in the future, basically, to enhance our products and enhance our brand.
Without investment, the sustainability would not be achieved. Without investment, the sustainability and the development goals would not be achieved. But where should I start the investment? Where should the investment? Now we have the opportunity to talk about the brand. Why brands?
So let me start with the definition actually of the brand value. What do we understand under a brand value? So basically we are talking about the brand value when a well-known brand can actually charge a premium relative to its competitors or generic brands. So then we are talking about generating a brand value. The first remarkable observation we make when we look at financial and economic data, which we have from past history, is that brands and intellectual property creates economic value and therefore sustainability. So that's a proven fact. We can see this empirically in the data.
You're very much welcome to this session, which is called Branding for Competitiveness and Creating Sustainable Growth. Well, we've been speaking about the value of brands, the need to evaluate economic impact of the brand.
So the vision for the future of brands is to use brand purpose to create additional consumer value that creates value for investors, shareholders, and societal stakeholders. A sustainable brand solution to sustainability, if you will. And what I visualize is a process that goes from investors investing all through the company in terms of finance, marketing, branding, and consumer, and affecting stakeholders in a way that increases the value of the experience to consumers that feeds back through the brand to marketing reporting to finance, and eventually to integrated reporting to investors that can sustain investment in the brand and in the stakeholder. So thank you very much.
Why is a sustainable brand more important than ever, especially in today's world?
Well, speaking of my company where I'm working in, at Novomatic Group of Companies, having sustainable and responsible brands is really a value driver for our success, for our company.
Why is a sustainable brand more important than ever, especially in today's world?
So for us, IBM, let's say what's happened in the last years and what is going to happen, technology gets even more important than in the past. And when I look into the future and the real problems and challenges of the world, then IBM with the technology can help a lot. So we appreciate very much what the UN has issued in terms of sustainable development goals. And also we, IBM, recently have issued our 5 predictions what will happen in the next 5 years. And it's all around how can we help with our technology like artificial intelligence or like quantum computer, the researchers of the world, to find solutions even quicker.
It's exciting to talk about global brands and sustainability from a financial services point of view, and most important, discuss future perspectives and ask the Quo Vadis question, where do we go from here? During my career, I had the opportunity to work for global brands like Sony and Sony Ericsson in the tech sector. And it's very interesting for me to observe that all the key issues we were driving at the time, like putting the customer into the center of everything we do, building agile organizations, embracing the transformative digital change, essential in order not to end up becoming dumb bit pipes. So this was a decade ago, and now all of these topics are key issues and have still strategic relevance in the 5-year plans of financial services businesses.
Branding for sustainability is more and more becoming a more universal concept that will certainly reach the companies to become more resilient, that will assure continuity, and we need absolutely to make this linkage of all these elements that help the company to reconstruct a new world towards sustainability.
So what impact does a sustainable brand have on the economy?
So when looking at the numbers in European Union, we see that about 39% of the jobs are directly or indirectly related to IPRs and brands, and 40% of the GDP, of the European GDP, is derived from brands and IPRs, and 90% of export and trade. So it's a very, very important issue, brands and IP rights. And on the other side, by knowing that in Europe only 9% of SMEs have registered brands and IPs. So this means 91% have not anything registered. There is a big potential of improvement. So we should, and that's the goal also of the summit, we should give more access to this brand system. We should democratize brands and IP, so that also these more than 90% who are not using the system as yet can have access to the system.